All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Valheim. So, in the last episode, we killed the Forsaken, did a little bit of base upgrades here, did some farming for some fish. That was pretty cool. Now, we have beaten the Elder. That means that we now have access to the crypts in the swamp. So, our first order of business, we are not ready to just run into the swamp as is. There are a couple of things that we need to do before we go ahead and get that done. We need to place a fermenter. We need at least one. Ideally, we'd get two, but oh, we could build three. Three is good. Three is awesome, but we need at least one. I don't know where we're going to put them. It looks like it's about to be nighttime. So I'll probably get some sleep, and then we'll probably have to... I think I'm out of fine wood. If we want to place 3, we need 90 fine wood. Where did I put my wood? Here we go. We have 13. So, we do have these 2 trees already grown. We could cut them down, but I kind of like leaving them here. And we added in a bunch of fir trees behind them, so that's cool. We won't cut those down. We'll actually probably travel over there to go get some. Our boar seem to be pretty grown up, which is cool. We got 6 of them. So what I think we're gonna want to do here is a couple of things. Our boat is over at the Elder, and it's not gonna go nowhere. Whoops, the Elder's way over here. So today's episode is going to be preparing for the swamp. Now, this episode is going to go live on Friday. I think it's the 30th. If I just check here. Yeah, it should be the 30th. So on New Year's Eve, I'm going to do a live stream. And it's going to be 6 to 8 hours where all that we do is basically progress through the swamp. I don't think we're going to get to the point where we kill bonemass unless we get very, very lucky and get a ton of iron and get all the upgrades we need, and we find where bonemass is, get enough withered bones, which is the item we need for the next boss, and then go kill bonemass. I think our main objective is going to be, for that live stream, is going to be just getting iron. Basically, we're just going to go find all the crypts, clear all the crypts, get a dragon boat, and fill the dragon boat up, or the longboat boat, sorry, and fill a longboat full of iron. I believe if you fill it up, it should be, 600 or so iron, 500 or so iron at the very least. And that will be more than likely most of the iron we will use for the rest of the series. And we should not need to get any more iron. What we may end up doing as well is building that. So today is going to be all about getting set up for progression. We need to farm some carrots. I have decided I'm going to build the boar breeder just because it works so efficiently, and it's going to look a little ugly, which is fine because we don't plan on staying here permanently, although this is our nice little starter base ring fort that we built, a little outpost in the world of Valheim. So with that being said, I'm going to do a time lapse, and this one is going to be very long. This is going to be me cutting down a ton of trees, getting a bunch of fermenters, placing them down, placing some carrots, getting the fermenters going, and then I will come back to you when we are ready to build the boar breeder. And with that being said, let's get it started. Okay, welcome back. So we got our 3 fermenters placed. We're still lacking a kiln, and we're probably going to need a few more circling cores before we get into the swamp. In all honesty here, we're gonna need that extra kiln for charcoal. The reason being, if I come over here, we place poison. Now, if we just did this 3 times, it used 30 coal and 30 honey. I think that 3 will probably last us most of the time that we'll be in the swamp. But if we wanted to just be extra careful, we'd get a little bit more. And we're definitely going to want that 3rd kiln when we go to smelt all of our iron on Saturday. Go ahead and prepare. So with these 3, it looks kind of goofy up here. It is what it is. It says too exposed. It needs a roof. We'll go ahead and build us a little roof, I think, for this. These are very annoying to work with. So we can't place here. Oh well, I'm not worried about it. I think they just need a roof over top. So we'll just do this. And then if we're lucky, and I get a good snap point, we'll be able to use that there. Too exposed still. Unfortunate. Okay, so we're gonna have to build ourselves a little fermenting station. Unfortunately, the game does not like our idea of this whatsoever. Let's go ahead and put our wood away so that we have enough space for everything that we're gonna need to do here. What are we dropping? Wood. Oh. Let's see here. They take up approximately 1 square, so if we wanted to do this and have it take up the least amount of room possible, I think we're going to want to place it back here. I don't want to place it near the wall. Oh, we are... See, I said we weren't going to add any more to this place, but it looks like we're going to have to. For now... Actually, this might work out better if we place it right here. So I'm going to go ahead, dump this in here, because I already have an idea for what we're going to do here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a piece of wood. Actually, what we're going to do is place this on stilts. And what we're going to do is just get this framed out. This is the best way to build, in my opinion. Why does that look taller? It's probably just the shadows. Normally I would frame this out, but this is going to be inconsequential, so I'm just going to find a nice little flat piece of land. I think right here. Just do it 3 wide. These are 1.5 tall. If you look at them, they're 1.5 tall. Well, we might be able to get away with just 1. We shall see. So now we can take our roof and just dump this bad boy on there. And just to give it a little bit of flair, we'll add these in as a nice little frame on the top here. And then add this. We'll just frame this up, make it look nice. We've got the extra wood for right now, and as we continue to place more or get more fine wood and core wood, we're going to generate more wood than we know what to deal with. So let's come here now, go to crafting. And now we should have ourselves, it says it's too exposed. The wind's blowing this way. Perhaps what we need to do, it will allow us, I wonder if it'll allow us to use it if we do that. It says too exposed. Is that because they're poking through? No. Now you might be saying, Noah, why are you placing doors here? Still says too exposed. You don't have any okay, so we've solved it. So this right here will be our little fermenting station. The reason I'm using doors is so we still have access to the fermenters. And this one says too exposed. I'm wondering if I break this, right? And we just come out another width. Still says too exposed. And I don't have any processable. So that one's not a problem. So do we need to do this? Still too exposed. Interesting. Still too exposed. By golly. I sound like a nerd when I say that. Too exposed, too exposed. So what I think we need to do... These two are still too exposed. If I completely encapsulate these, I wonder if that solves the problem. This is too exposed still. I wonder why it's too exposed. Let's go ahead and bunch up on some food here. Oh, I need to... These are too exposed. Are they clipping the wall? You are too exposed, but you're good. You don't have any processable items. I wonder if the problem is that they're poking through the roof. If that's the problem. And I wonder if using a 45-degree angle will solve our problem. Let's let this one fade. Alright, it did work. we were able to get it in there. Good for us. Let's go ahead and redeposit our wood. Alright, so I'm going to sleep for a night. Now that we have our fermenters, we're going to go ahead and craft some poison resistance mead. This is going to be extremely and excruciatingly important, especially as we first go into the swamp. Because at first, that poison, even with the poison resist potion, is going to be deadly. And we want to avoid dying. Okay, so it requires a lot of honey. And now this is why we've been collecting all those honeybees. As you can see here, I built a semicircle here with 10 bees. So we are producing about 10 honey per day, which is cool. So we do have extra honey. We're going to want to do at least 3. So there's 18 honey. I'm just checking through here for all of our honey. So we're going to want honey, and then we're going to want thistle. It's 5 per, so we should be getting 15 of this out. And then it's 10 charcoal per. So we'll grab 30 charcoal. Poison resist. Oh, it takes 1 necktail each. Okay. So we need to find some necktail, which we have a few. This is why we've been collecting them. Killing neck as we see them. Now, as you can see, this recipe requires 10 honey. We will have access to a frost resistance potion at some point in the near future. And it will have a similar honey requirement. This is ultimately why we want to collect as much honeybees as possible. So now that this is done, we can walk into our little building here. We can add this. So now we have some poison resistance brewing. That's excellent for us. Each one of these, I believe, only gives us 6. So that should be 18. They stack up to 10. So we'll have just under 2 stacks of poison resistance potions, which is a big, big milestone for us. Now, the next part here that we're going to do, we are going to be building the boar breeder. Now, this is going to require some regular wood, some core wood. But first, we need this. So now this is a design that Broadbent, a nice YouTuber, I think he's British, but I'm not entirely certain. And I think he was the first one to come up with this. Yes. Broadbent's boar breeder. This is a boar breeder that I've built many times, and what you're watching right now is a quick little time lapse of me doing the beginning stages of building this. Now, I initially built this wrong and actually had to go rewatch the video, and I'm a big fan of giving credit where credit's due, so I'll go ahead and link the video to his boar breeder in the description below. There is no update that has fixed this style of breeder. He's already had to do one update. And so that'll be a very accurate video to what I'm building here. And like you see here, I've actually messed this up right there is where I messed it up. I did not place the baseboards properly, and as a result, it caused me to have an issue. As you can see here, we're finishing up the boar breeder. And the reason why this boar breeder is so amazing is because of how efficient the boar breeder is. Now, when you have your boar in a pen, when you throw food down to feed them and be able to reproduce, the boar do a population check every time that they want to produce a new piglet. And when they do this, it's a certain distance. That's why this breeder works, is it builds the parent boar above that population check distance. It's a big sphere around the boar, and as long as there's no boar within that sphere, they will produce a piglet. And that's how this essentially works, is you're just moving 2 parent boar above, but this is a twofold benefit. This also reduces food waste. When you have your boar in a pen, not only will they produce less boar, but whenever they do produce boar, the piglets will actually eat the food as well as they're growing up, while also not producing any new piglets. So it's wasting food. Now, one of the things that this does well is it helps with that food efficiency and increases the efficiency of this. I'm doing this with 2-star boar. However, you don't really need to do it with 2-star boar, and 1-star boar will be sufficient. Now let's get back to the video. Yeah. Okay, so now in a couple days those will grow. It's been a few days. Our fermenter's probably done. Let's go ahead and check this. And that is what it looks like when they drop. We just got 18 poison resistance potions. Excellent. Let's go ahead and... Oh, okay. Did not realize we had all of this hanging around. Okay. So we didn't use too much wood. We used a ton of wood to get it started, and I'm leaving this here just because it looks pretty cool, I think. It looks pretty cool. So I'm going to leave that just for the time being. Yeah. We're gonna need to do a little bit of organization here. Oh, we have 8 extra core wood sitting in here. Okay. Pull that out as well. Okay, so we only have 47. Oh, because we ate a carrot and we replaced the fish with that. Oh. Okay. God, you can hear it, just how quickly it just spawns pigs over and over again. So once these are all grown, we should get about 120 carrots in total from this. And we're actually going to keep all of these. I just realized that I had a stack each for the boar farm once we got it started, so that we wouldn't have to go ahead and use them. Wait. Yeah, see, they've only eaten 1. They've produced 3 pigs. We should be able to get that. You should be able to get that just in case. I know for a fact you can get that. That might be a little bit far to the left. Let's pick this up, drop it there. Cool. Now those should be good for a very, very long time. Probably until we're done with the mountains, to be honest with you. And now what I'm going to do, all the piglets have been spawned, so now we get to test out a theory we had earlier where we didn't know how much these boars... We're going to kill everything that's not a piglet. So I'm just going to kill 1 really quick. Okay, so it gives us 4 boar meat and 4 leather scraps. That's excellent. So we're going to go ahead and kill the 4 boar that we had prior to setting this up. We're going to count the original, or the first 2. There's a third. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 piglets now. Already we have 4 piglets, which just replaced what we just did. So, and that has given us 24 meat. Now, that will create, I believe a full stack of sausages. We're going to get to a point where we're not going to need those leather scraps, and there is an item what do you call it? Yeah, it's an item from the shop that we are going to be able to... We actually have 2. We only need 3 Surtling cores to replace this. And then we need 5 more to replace this one over here. Doesn't that look pretty cool? I'm going to remove that. Just because I don't like the way it looks. And now we have a little fermenter hut. Allows us to use the fermenters. And we really wanted to. We could even... Where is it? The 45-degree cross. We could even put this up in here. Really give it a nice thing. But I like the way this looks so far. Now, that is everything food-wise I think we're going to care about setting up here. There is another crop in the swamp that we are going to look for, and it's called a turnip. They are very rare to find because of how small the land profile is in the swamp. It's mostly water. It's not very deep water, but the plant won't grow when it's partially underwater. So if we can find a turnip, that's even better because then we can get what's called turnip stew. And then in the mountains, if we're lucky in a chest, one of the first chests we find, we can maybe get an onion, which will allow us to make onion soup. And this will be the best stamina food that we can get until we get to the plains biome, which is after the mountain. And it will even work in the plains biome for a very long time because the onion and turnip and carrot all grow in the plains biome. So if we wanted to, we could realistically set up another boar breeder in the plains biome so that we could have everything and some wolves and everything so that we could get everything set up here. Alright. So now we have all the fine wood, we got the fermenters, we got poison resistance potions. This is kind of the main chunk of what we needed to get done today was this. Just 14 carrots. Sorry, I'm just doing a little bit of organization in the old storage system here, trying to make sure that I stay as organized as possible because we found an extra Surtling core and we don't want to have that happen again. This is supposed to be extra food, but whoops. Looks like okay, we have extra bronze nails. That's fine, we can use this with some fine wood if we wanted to craft item situation things. Oh, look at that. All growing pretty quick here. So once this is done, we'll replant 106 carrots. That'll give us 300. That'll give us 1 whole crop rotation before we need to plant 120 seed carrots, and then we should get 2 whole crop rotations before we need to plant any more carrots. But that should be enough carrots to last us till we get turnips. Now the boar will also eat turnips as well as most everything that we create here. But if you see this, if we look at this from the edge of the base, it doesn't actually look like it's that tall, but it is the tallest thing in here. And if we step away and we look at this, it looks kind of out of place and funky. This is hard to disguise. You have to build a large building for this, and I'm just not interested in doing that. However, what we could possibly do is turn this into like a tower kind of deal. Oh, there's another piggy getting born. God, it just goes and goes and goes. We've already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just checking the corners. So we have 6 piglets already. That's incredible. And it looks like we're going to completely replace all the honey we used to craft those poison resistance potions. Excellent. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do here is... Are we going to end the episode here? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to bed. It's 2 in the morning. I've already got 2 hours of footage. I think what's left for us to do is just build a little base up here over by this crypt that's by the water that allows us to just run to and from this crypt. As well as set up, we could probably set up a portal over here, which would allow us to walk up to the Draugr village as well. And what that will do is give us a steady, we'll get the entrails, and then in running around, we'll also be able to get thistle and stuff, which would be pretty big for us in terms of getting sausages built. Because if we could get sausages, some carrot soup, and the fish, we'll have a ton of health and a ton of stamina. So we'll probably build a little swamp base out there where we can just sail the boat straight into the swamp to load it with iron, and we can just run the iron from the crypt back and forth and explore this swamp a little bit more extensively. I think that this channel here and this little river here gives us 2 entry points, and I think there's even swamp. There's some meadows right here, but I think there's even some swamp right here. And as long as there's multiple crypts here, we should be able to get a lot of iron. So the crypts are a little unfortunate, where they're like the burial mounds. They can either have like 200, 300 iron in them, or sometimes they'll only have like 50. And it's a gamble on whether or not the crypt is long enough to provide you with all that iron or not. Because if we could get 300 iron squared away right at the beginning, I mean, that's our full iron set, fully upgraded, iron tools, which we don't really need anything other than the iron pickaxe. So we'll craft an iron pickaxe, an iron mace, a banded shield, full iron armor, and then we should be good to go for everything in the swamp and everything in the mountains for us to at least get our wolf cape. And then from there, we should be able to the mountains is very quick. There's not a whole lot you need to do up there, and there's not a whole lot of resources you need to gather there. We do want to probably gather a little bit of silver, maybe a stack or 2, maybe 3 stacks at most, which is like one or 2 silver veins. And if we do that, then we should be able to just survive all the way until we get to the plains without needing to spend an exorbitant amount of resources. So I'm going to go ahead and catch some sleep, and I will catch you when I wake up. And of course, when I recorded this, I figured that I would end up using the next 6-ish hours of footage that I recorded for the second half of this video, but I want to try and shorten these videos down to around 30 minutes. And so what we're going to do is end the episode here today. As always, my name is Noah. It's been a pleasure having you, and I'll see you in the next video.